Hi everyone. You have seen how to create data quality rules in the last video. In this session, let's see how to monitor these on a Snowflake dashboard. Are you wondering what is Snowflake dashboard? This is a powerful feature in Snowflake's Snow site. It helps you visualize your data through charts and tables. You can track key metrics like data quality compliance or data quality trends or any trends for that matter. And this makes it easier to monitor your data and take action when needed. By the end of this video, you'll know how to create your own data quality dashboards and get clear insights into your data health. Again, let's divide this entire monitoring activity into simpler steps. Step 1, understanding data quality metrics, or you can call data quality compliance metrics. 2, prepare your Snowflake. And 3, creating compliance metrics in Snowflake. Let's begin with the first step, understand and define the data quality metrics. What metrics do you want to track? You can track any kind of metrics. For the demo purpose, I'll use these two. Percentage of rows passing each rule. Next one, trend of violations over time. So now we know what metrics we wanted to track. We defined them. Checked off step 1. Let's move to step 2. Prepare your Snowflake. When you want to track something, you need to store the results, right? The results can be the output of the data quality rules. So, to set up a logging table to store these rule outputs, let's open Snowflake. We are on the Snowflake now. For us to set up a logging table for DQ rules, all we need to do is again two steps. 1. Create a table. 2. Insert DQ rules into that table. All right. Which columns do we want to create the table with? If we create a table, what do we name a table with? Let's name it as DQ rule logs. So if we create a table DQ rule logs with the columns rule ID, rule name, execution date, total rows checked, rows passed, and rows violated. These column names are self-explanatory, right? You might be wondering why to create this DQ rule log. Why are we inserting DQ rules here? Already we have created DQ rules in the last session. So how is this different? You'll get to know soon. Yes, you're right. We have created the DQ rules, but what we are doing now is something related to monitoring the DQ rules performance. Like I mentioned here, how many passed with the DQ rules and how many are violated. This kind of information can be monitored using this approach. Let's create a table now. Select the database and schema. See, all I did is a simple create table syntax with these column names and data types. The table is successfully created. Now insert the rules. How do we insert these rules? Let's recall our DQ rule that we have created in the last session. Let's see the completeness check for equipment ID column. So here is the query to identify how many records have equipment ID as null. How do we insert this DQ rule into the table DQ rule logs? Let's see that. It's again a simple insert query. However, slightly you need to be careful on how we wanted to add this rule. I'm copy pasting the query here just to save the typing time. See here. In the newly created table, we are inserting few rows. How we are inserting? Because this rule has to be applied on the plant equipment. So that's why you are seeing plant equipment table in the from clause. Rule ID is the static value or a hard coded value. Here we have added as completeness check for equipment ID. Whatever is the understandable phrase for us, you can add it here. Next one is current timestamp because we wanted to capture the execution date. That's why we wanted to have current timestamp inserted into execution date. Next, total rows. You know that. Count star. Next, rows passed. How do you get the rows passed? Total rows minus rows failed should be your rows passed. So count star is your total rows minus count of, we're using a case statement here to fetch the null equipment ID. So it's a simple case statement. Case when equipment ID is null, then 1. For every one null record, it will retrieve one output. Say, for example, total count records are 10 records, out of which 5 nulls are there. This particular count clause will fetch 5 records. So 10 minus 5 will be your rows passed. Next, count of case when equipment ID is null. This is exactly nothing but the failed case or rule violated case from the plant equipment table. Let's execute this insert query. See, one row inserted. Now let's see how it is looking like in the DQ rule logs table. Rule 001 is the rule ID. For this completeness check rule, on this execution date, total rows 6, rows passed 6, and rows violated is 0. Because there are no null records in the table. That's why, right? So, in the similar way, you'll be adding all the data quality rules. Let's write the similar query for location ID as well. What is the DQ rule that we have written for location ID completeness check? That's a similar query where location ID is null. So let's insert that query into DQ rule logs. Say similar query for location ID column. Execute it. One more row inserted. Let's again run the select query to see how many rules are added into the DQ rule logs. See, completeness check for equipment ID and the other one is for location. How many rows, total rows passed and rows violated. Here, the number of rows violated are 3. Actually, location ID can be null. There is extension to this DQ rule. But for simplicity purpose, let's leave it as is. Alright, now we are done with steps 1 and 2, that is defining the key quality metrics and preparing the Snowflake by creating the logging table and inserting the rules into it. Now let's open the Snowflake dashboard. Click on the Snowflake icon. Go to projects. You see the dashboards on the left, right? Click on that. Come here top right. Click on this plus symbol. Give a dashboard name. Create a dashboard with the name of your choice. Let us create DQ compliance dashboard. Okay. Click on create dashboard. All right. You're on the dashboard now. Click on new tile from SQL worksheet. Again, you need to write a query based on how you want to monitor. Let me use this query to understand what is the compliance percentage and how many rows are violated. Let's execute this query. Okay, select the database here. All right, execute it. This is the rule name, execution date, compliance percentage, rows violated, right? Now you are in results tab. Click on chart. Okay, there are different types of charts available. That is line chart, bar chart, scatter, heat grid, and scorecard. Let's begin with the line chart. First of all, let's modify the appearance by clicking on show points, label x-axis, label y-axis. You can change the x-axis and y-axis here. See here, you're seeing the column names, right? So you can select it. But if you want to monitor the compliance percentage based on the execution date, this should work better. Okay, this is the line chart type. On a specific date, the compliance percentage is 100. On the other day, it is 50. If I change this to rows violated, then there are 0 rows that are violated on this date. It is still showing the compliance percentage. Let's click on y-axis so it updates. See, the rows violated is 3 here on this date. Here the rows violated is 0. All you need to do now is click on return to DQ compliance dashboard. Click on edit query. Let's name this tile. What do we name it? Let's do compliance percentage. And here click on chart, compliance percentage. All right. So this is the line chart. But if you want to see a bar graph, so this is how you can see. You have another option to change the orientation, vertical bars or horizontal bars, the way you want it to. And then click on return to TQ compliance dashboard. Compliance percentage tile would appear in this way. Now let's create another tile in the same dashboard. Click on this plus symbol, new tile from the same SQL worksheet. One more query I'm pasting here to monitor total number of violations. Okay, execute this. On December 2nd, total violations are 0, but on the other day, total violations are 3. Again, how do you want to show this in the dashboard? In the chart form, right? So click on the chart. Which one do you want? Line or bar? Bar is my favorite, but let's see. See, orientation direction descending or ascending. You can give ascending or descending. Okay, label x-axis, label y-axis, line number of bars. This is not required for now. Anyways, our number of records are less. You can play with the options on the right hand side, chart type, data, appearance, etc. and click on the return to DQ compliance dashboard. All right, let's rename this as well. Violated records. See, this is how it looks like. If you want to make any changes to the query or any changes to the chart, click on edit query and do all the modifications that you wanted to. I'm clicking on this chart and making it line chart instead of bar. Clicking on edit query here, chart, line chart. So this way you can monitor compliance percentage and violated records as well. You can add as many tiles as you want. Go here on this dashboard. If you want to see the records along with these charts, just place the tile here. Drag this and bring it on. All right, next you can bring one more here for compliance percentage. So these are the records. This is the line chart. Let us also add a date here. For that, click on a new tile. Max off as, you can rename it as rule execution date. All right. Let's have this added to the dashboard. Edit. See, all I'm doing is dragging and dropping. Let's rename this tile as see, here is your simple Snowflake dashboard. As and when you add your rules to the rule logging table, insert the rules, or even execute the table, so it will get the latest execution date, and then come here on the dashboard, click on run button. You'll see the latest results. So this is how you can monitor data quality metrics on your Snowflake dashboard. Let's quickly recap. We started by defining key data quality metrics like compliance percentages and violation trends. Then we prepared Snowflake by setting up a logging table to capture the rule execution results. Lastly, we calculated compliance metrics and created visualizations using Snowsite dashboards. And this is to monitor your trends and compliance effectively. Try creating your own dashboard and share your results in the comments. If you get stuck with any questions in the process of creating your dashboard, add in the comments. See you soon.